Hi, everybody. I'm Gloria Moraga. This is the Political Woman Podcast. I thought I would do a wrap from all the things that happened on Saturday. So this is the Saturday wrap. So it's still November 2nd. What a day. There's been a lot of stuff going on today. So that's why the wrap is such a good idea. So just quickly, Harris was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in North Carolina, and live in New York because it's Saturday night. Wow. Vance was with Trump Jr. in Arizona. I was going to say ew, but I didn't write it down. Governor Walz, also in Arizona, not only giving a speech and a rally, but walking door to door, canvassing. Trump, two places, Virginia and North Carolina. So I'm going to start with North Carolina. Why? Because I like Bon Jovi. Here's what he had to say, and he's a keeper.
This great nation adopted a motto in the year 1782, E pluribus unum, which in Latin translates out of many, one. Those words, they ring very true today. Now, we can move forward together, embracing what makes us different, which is actually what does make America great. And I believe with all my heart in the next generation. We can move forward with this next generation, but we need them to understand that the American dream is very much alive and well. Because we, the people, hold the power to decide our future. And North Carolina may very well decide who wins this election. It's true. It's time that we march forward to the polls, North Carolina. Make your voices heard. Go vote Tuesday, November the 5th. Make sure that you bring a valid ID. And if you do not have an ID, you can sign up for an ID exemption for it and still vote. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is no secret. This is the people's house, the house of you and of me. Let's get the job done.
Yeah, don't you love it? Bon Jovi quoting our motto. That's our motto, the United States. E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. I'm getting emotional. It may just be because I'm tired, because there's a lot going on. Bon Jovi was good, but you know what? The guy that was with him, that was playing backup, who has his own band, he was better. And here he is. Listen.
How we doing out there, huh? I got a quick thing to say. Yes, I am a wounded warrior. I serve this country. I am a son of America. And let me tell you something. On day one in Iraq, I learned the sound of a bomb. Scariest noise I'd heard ever. And right after the noise comes the ringing. Now I want to tell you something. We've been hearing a lot of noise. But on the day that our first female vice president ever decided to accept the nomination, we then heard the ringing of humanity, the ringing of democracy. It's time to answer that call. Go vote. Go vote. Answer the ringing. Forget the noise. It's louder than the noise. Go vote.
Soundbite of the day. I love that guy. Veteran and musician. What better than that? All right, so let's just go to Trump. Trump, this is just odd. I'm doing, just gathering some information on the Electoral College because I thought I would do a little podcast maybe first thing in the morning or some sort of a live shot or something on the Electoral College. And Trump gave a speech in Virginia. Now, he's been doing this. He's been visiting, well, I don't want to say that they're not important, but states where he is not going to have any chance of winning. And, you know, he slammed California. He spent a long time slamming California, and it's like, go away. We do not need you to be slamming us. You know, he was talking about some of the states that he just can't win, that Republicans can't win. And, oh, we should fix that. And I wonder what they're concocting in their minds about that. But he was spent all this time in Virginia. I love Virginia. I lived in Virginia for about 2 years. Happy time there. It was when I worked in Washington and I moved to my dream house. Anyway, it's another story. But why Virginia? Biden won Virginia in 2020. And Virginia seems to be pretty safe for Democrats. But he was in Virginia and he would not get off the stage. He would not. And he was just nasty. And here he is being nasty.
Under Kamala's catastrophic agenda and Crooked Joe, but I don't even know, is he still around? What the hell? You know, in all fairness to him, you might have noticed I'm not a big fan. But he was running. I spent $150 million trying to defeat this guy. We spent, think of it, and we were doing well. We had the debate. He didn't do great, but he did fine. We had the debate, and his numbers weren't great. And they walked into him and they said, we want you out. He said, I'm not going to get out. I got 14 million votes. You didn't get anything. We want you out, Joe. You're going out. Think of the consequences of this. This is a guy who's the president. He won it in the primaries. Whether you think he's great or horrible, it doesn't matter. He won it in the primaries, right? You know, they would look at me. If we ever did that, they would say, this is a threat to democracy, right? Everything I do, he's a threat to democracy. If I walk 2 feet over in the road, he's a threat to these people are sick. Can you imagine if I walked into a president's office, said, we want you out? But, you know, crazy Nancy, she's crazy as a bedbug.
He just hates. He's just a hater. And here she is talking about policy. This is Harris in Milwaukee getting ready to get on a plane. First thing in the morning, and here, take a listen to the bite, and then we'll talk.
And so my plan includes what we're going to do in terms of taking on corporate price gouging and having the first ever national ban on corporate price gouging on groceries. My plan includes addressing the issue of affordable housing, including for first-time home buyers, giving them a $25,000 down payment assistance so they can just get their foot in the door. My plan includes addressing the needs of parents, in particular young parents, which is why I will expand the child tax credit to $6,000 for the first year of their child's life, which helps pay for everything from childcare to a crib and a car seat. My plan includes what we're going to do to invest in our small businesses, including increasing tax breaks for small businesses. And overall, my plan, which is about building an opportunity economy, has been reviewed by leading economists in our country, from Goldman Sachs to 32 Nobel laureates, all whom have said that my economic plan actually will strengthen America's economy. They've reviewed Donald Trump's plan and have determined he will weaken America's economy, he will ignite inflation, and he will bring on a recession by the middle of next year. Okay.
All right, so remember all the wowing from the media and from Trump and critics? She never gives any press conferences. She never talks to the press. She never, she's dumb. She can only talk when there's a teleprompter in front of her. for quite a while now, she's been doing these press availabilities and speaking to the press, like first thing in the morning, before she gets on the plane, after she gets on the plane, here and there and everywhere. And you notice? Nobody talks about it anymore. She's doing all these availabilities, answering all these questions on her feet, answering questions without a hesitation or any kind of an issue. And do you ever see any of the sound bites? That's why I wanted to use that soundbite, because I wanted to rant about how unfair. Trump does these phony baloney availabilities with Tucker. I'm not even going to say his name because he doesn't deserve for me to say his name. And he does these phony press availabilities, whatever they are, and they don't even ask him any questions. They're all softball stuff so he can rant and insult Liz Cheney, which is really, where's the outrage? Where are the Republicans stepping up? You know, where's George Bush? I like George Bush. Nicole Walz talked about George Bush speaking up. You know, I know, he may not have been the best president, but I interviewed him when he was campaigning, when he was running for president. He was so nice to me. I just know from me interviewing people, how decent, what a decent man he was. Same thing with John McCain. I mean, they were really decent men, are. But I agree with Nicole Wallace. Bush needs to speak up. This is serious. So, yeah, Trump's there just insulting people, and then Harris talks about real issues and plans and what she's going to do. So, yeah. Vance, I'm not going to pull a soundbite from him. I wanted you to see him. I did listen to his whatever it was, and he's just, I don't know, man. I just have to kind of hold my nose when I listen to him. He's Trump. He's a younger Trump. I don't know. And Trump, when he was talking today, in Virginia, so I was talking about Virginia. I mean, Virginia, and I wrote it down here. Let me look at my map. Virginia has 13 electoral college votes. And Biden won in 2020. It's considered a blue state. It's not even one of the states that's kind of in the, that's a swing state. But he was there and he wouldn't leave. And he was going to North Carolina next, which is in contention. So North Carolina has 16 electoral college votes, just like Georgia. So those are two big states. Why was he spending all that time in Virginia? And they're trying to say that it's because he could win them. And it's like, no, he can't. No, he can't. No, he can't. No, he's not. He's not going to. And he keeps saying, we're going to win. The polls are so big. They're really on our side. He's saying that. Yes, Gloria, he's saying that. No, he's saying that so that he can say that they stole the election, that we were way ahead. Wow, I will be so glad when we never have to see him again. God, please. Sign of the cross with the right hand. I didn't want to bump my mic. God will say, oh yeah, thanks, Gloria. Thanks for not doing the sign of the cross right, because you didn't want to bump your mic. So yeah, J.D. Vance was with Junior. And according to C-SPAN, he was campaigning at a gun store, but I didn't see that video and I'm not looking for it. Also, I wanted to share with you this video, and this video comes from, I'll put the Chiron up so you can see where it comes from, but take a look.
stand up for democracy. We have to stand up for a woman's right to have control over her body, control over her life. Women's rights are human rights.
Yeah, thousands of women rallied across the country today and in the Capitol for reproductive rights. They were also there in support of Kamala Harris's presidency and for reproductive freedom. And there was a clash, you see in this video, with Trump people, with MAGAs, and ew. Yeah, did I say, I said my favorite soundbite, but also Tim Walz, his campaigning door to door. Take a look at that. It's wonderful. Take a look.
A very mixed audience of older retired folks, a lot of young folks. And
that's what we're worried about, young people. And
women are voting.
Women,
women are voting.
they have to come out. Yeah.
We
have a lot of them.
Have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you both.
Same
You guys take care of him.
Women, so they're doing
Yeah.
good. Thank you guys.
Have a good rest of your day.
We're grateful.
All right.
So,
Bye-bye.
all right.
Bye, dear.
You're working hard out there. They're already talking.
So Bon Jovi was great. His friend was great. But really? Michelle Obama? Holy cow. And I'm pulling this from my phone because I've looked for it in other places, and I recorded this off the TV. But I wanted to share some of it. Here it is.
When it's your family trying to keep up with the rising cost of groceries, when it's you who can't see a path to owning your own home, when it's your kids whose school isn't keeping up or the board is banning their books, when it's your family at risk in a conflict overseas or stopped at the border, when it's your son or daughter is the one whose life choices are limited because of who they love, the anger and despair hits especially hard. But during those dark and difficult times, y'all, we need leaders who will connect with people's pain and address the systemic issues at their root, not leaders who stoke our fears and focus our fury on one another. Look, you cannot control how fast and how far that fire of hate will spread. All of a sudden, someone feels emboldened to say that our fellow citizens in Puerto Rico come from an island of garbage. All of a sudden, folks are saying a political opponent is the Antichrist. All of a sudden, folks are marching with torches, ramming cars through crowds of peaceful protesters, marching on our nation's capital to overturn a free and fair election.
Holy man.
Look, y'all, as I said, destruction is swift and it is merciless, and no one knows where it will stop.
And I wanted to share, before I wrap up, this was posted in the New York Times. And I'm going to just read it. It was an opinion from the editorial board. Quote, "You already know Donald Trump. He is unfit to lead. Watch him. Listen to those who know him best. He tried to subvert an election and remains a threat to democracy. He helped overturn Roe with terrible consequences. Mr. Trump's corruption and lawlessness go beyond elections. It's his whole ethos. He lies without limit. If he's elected, the GOP won't restrain him. Mr. Trump will use the government to go after opponents. He will pursue a cruel policy of mass deportations. He will wreak havoc on the poor, the middle class, and employers. Another Trump term will damage the climate, shatter alliances, and strengthen autocrats. Americans should demand better vote." That's on the front page, so we're on the right side of the New York Times. Woof. And then down here, there's a little tiny script, and it says, "The New York Times editorial board is a group of opinion journalists whose views are informed by expertise, research, debate, and certain long-standing values. It is separate from the newsroom. Thank you. Way to go, New York Times. I am just angry with the New York Times half the time. Half my life, I'm cursing them for some of their dumb stories. Like they did one on Kamala Harris's pantsuits. It's like, look into my eye. They just, there's such a double standard. But here, at least we got this. So I've talked about where the campaigns were. Talked about Bon Jovi. Talked about the editorial board. Talked about the marches. Didn't see much, on the TV, on the mainstream media about the marches. Love Tim Walz. He's going to make a great vice president. He's going to be such a good second to her. And I don't know what the rules are with using the Saturday Night Live clip. And if I'm going to get some sort of a strike. But it's Saturday Night Live on NBC. It's on social media. It's all over. I'm sharing it on this podcast, so I hope that I don't get in trouble. But let's just end with some of it. It was wonderful. It was lovely. I cackled through the whole thing, and I'm going to pull it from my phone, but maybe not. Maybe I'll have to get a better feed because of my cackling. I'm Gloria Moraga, political woman. Please vote. We've got just a few more hours before voting ends. This is important. It is the most important election, obviously, in my lifetime. I don't know. I'm going to try to just not be overly emotional, but I am. I love this country. I love all the people who are coming out for democracy. I'll do something on the Electoral College tomorrow and give you a little insight, I hope. And I love America. And that's why I do this. Please vote. Please follow me here, there, everywhere. And be safe. I love you. Saturday Night Live. Here we go.
I wish I could talk to someone who's been in my shoes, a black South Asian woman running for president, preferably from the Bay Area.
You got this. Because you can do something your opponent cannot do. You can open doors.
I see what you did there, like to a garbage truck, right?
I don't really laugh like that, do I?
A little bit.